Well, talk to me about this play you're producing, The Civility of Albert Cashier at the Colony Theater in Burbank. Why this play? Why now? Talk to me. Like, what you haven't, the last thing you produced was on Broadway a few years ago, right?
Yeah, I did a show called Head Over Heels. So my first show was Beautiful, the Carole King musical. I was the executive producer on that. And then I was a lead producer on Head Over Heels.
Okay.
So I had one show that ran 6 years and another show that ran 6 months.
That's Broadway, baby.
There you go. But we opened, and this sort of group of people walked up to me at the opening of Head Over Heels and said, we have a project that we think you might really like.
They approached you at the show.
They approached me at,
cool.
like, on opening night of
The
Head
balls
Over
on
Heels.
them. I like
right?
that.
Yeah, like, let's go now. She's there.
I ask people to do my podcast, and I refuse to do it in person because I feel like it makes them so awkward and uncomfortable, but I like that they went for it.
Yeah, they totally went for it. And I was like, I don't even know which way is up right now, but okay, let me listen.
Yeah.
So they send me this link, and I listened to the music, and I remember I was in this cab, I was going home, and I was like, the last thing I wanted to do in that moment was get involved with another show. I was exhausted. And
it's a lot of work.
It's a tremendous amount of work. So, and then I'm listening to the music, and then I'm like, oh, shit, this is good.
Yeah. Did they give you like a CD or something?
No, they sent me a link.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that far back.
Yeah. Well, no, I just meant like, when you're like walking down Venice or in Times Square and they're just like handing out CDs. I didn't know if that it was old school style.
That's
like
hilarious. That's really funny. If they had handed me a CD at opening night, that would have been genius. I would love that. No, they sent me this link, and it was just like undeniably fantastic. Yeah. It was so good. The music was just, oh my God. And then I read the story, and I watched, they had done a production of it in Chicago.
Okay. So
I watched that and just was super moved by the story. So the story is, Albert Cashier voluntarily enlists in the Civil War as Albert.
Yeah.
But was born, was assigned female at birth.
Yeah.
He was kind of a badass soldier.
Sure.
And saved a lot of lives. And at the end of the war, he lived out his life as a man. And at the end of his life, he started to get some dementia. He had an accident. He ends up in a sailors' and soldiers' home where his secret's discovered. And they take him to court. And they try to take his pension away, all of his honors, basically saying you stole money from the government under false pretenses.
Interesting.
And they, this is a true story. 1916, they have this trial, and all of these soldiers.
1916, so he was very old at that point.
Yeah, he was old. And so one by one, these soldiers come up and they stand up and say, I don't see anyone other than Albert Cashier in that man's saved my life. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's
relevant
really,
for sure. All the promotional materials is like, this is very relevant. I'm like, is it really relevant?
Is it really relevant?
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah. No, it's really amazing. I mean, I think, the message of these soldiers and the brotherhood of when you're on that field, it transcends gender, it transcends color, it transcends sexuality, it transcends religious denomination. It's like you either have my back or you don't. And it's a beautiful story in that when people come from all walks of life and they treat people with decency and dignity and humanity, they find common ground. And I think in a moment like right now, with such a divided country and world, we have to tell stories that actually remind us that we're capable of doing that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm really excited about sharing this story. Not only is it just a fantastic musical, it's important for the time.
Yeah, I love that.